When we keep Idaho students in classrooms, they have better physical and mental health. Help keep the student you love in school by getting them vaccinated if they're eligible. Make sure they wear a mask, frequently wash their hands, and stay home and get tested when sick. Our teachers and other school staff can also do their part by choosing to vaccinate, wearing a mask, and supporting other preventive measures. For more information on preventive measures, please visit coronavirus.idaho.gov or contact your child's school.
Simple is a card that earns me rewards with no annual fees.
Simple is 1.5% cash back on all of my purchases.
It's a card where I earn cash rewards with no confusing point system and no surprise fees.
I can even get a $300 cash bonus just for spending $3,000 on purchases in my first 3 months.
And that's why I love my cashback Visa credit card from BECU.
Because BECU wants what's best for me. And sometimes the best things are simple.
Contact BECU at 800-233-2328 for current product and rate information.
When we keep Idaho students in classrooms, they have better physical and mental health. Help keep the student you love in school by getting them vaccinated if they're eligible. Make sure they wear a mask, frequently wash their hands, and stay home and get tested when sick. Our teachers and other school staff can also do their part by choosing to vaccinate, wearing a mask, and supporting other preventive measures. For more information on preventive measures, please visit coronavirus.idaho.gov or contact your child's school.
Today, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. And the best part? There's no annual contract. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
For 40 years, Michael Myers has haunted this town. He is the essence of evil, and evil dies tonight.
Halloween Kills, rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent, in theaters and streaming only on Peacock now.
This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my honor. You're going to acknowledge me.
Hey everybody, welcome to the WWE Podcast. This is your weekend review. We've got a brand new co-host tonight, one that you've maybe heard on the mailbag or on our AEW Dynamite review, who has been filling in for Mimi the past couple of weeks. The Crisis is here in person in the studio. Well, that sounds cool, right? Not really in the studio, more like via Skype, but sounds better and more professional to say that. So we'll say that. He's in the studio tonight to talk about everything this week in WWE. We touch on everything, at least a lot of the major stuff, and had a lot of fun doing it. So stay tuned for that in just a minute. First, don't forget to get me your emails today, tonight, tomorrow, or by Tuesday, or even Wednesday, midday at the latest, so that I can forward them on to the casual wrestling fan who will be doing the email portion of our show for the mailbag this week. He's doing the takeover with himself and the missus for the email portion of the mailbag. I will still be doing the voicemail, and I will be doing the voicemail right up front at the beginning of the show. A little bit of a reverse of the format and order that we do typically. So I'll be doing the voicemails at the beginning. So still send in your voicemails. You can call, by the way, at 518-952-0247. Leave your voicemail, or you can, of course, attach an audio file to an email, and then I'll know that you also have a voicemail there. But the emails will be exclusively to the to Mr. and Mrs. Casual Wrestling fans. So definitely send them in. He's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I think everybody listening is looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. So just a reminder there. Also, go to Patreon if you want to get rid of these ads. And look, as the holiday season approaches, we probably will have even more ads, as you know, as is kind of the season for marketers to put their stuff in, and for us to have an opportunity to monetize this show. So if you want to just erase those ads, you have two ways of doing it. $1 a month will get you ad-free everything, plus access to our Discord server, which is live all the time. It's not just for pay-per-views or Monday Night Raws or SmackDowns. It is a place to go with you and only you and the other patrons to talk about anything about wrestling at any time. You'll get access to that for $1 a month on Patreon. Or if you want to go on Apple Podcasts and you don't want to deal with another app or anything, you just click on Apple Podcasts and go to the ad-free, get rid of those pesky ads button. You'll see it right at the top of the page. You get 7 days free, and then it's only $2.99 a month for everything ad-free on Apple Podcasts. So, all right, that all said, tomorrow I'll be back with another What If with Anthony DeMarco. Tuesday's Raw review. Of course, Wednesday, I just said, is the half and half Mr. and Mrs. Takeover show for the email portion of the mailbag, and I'll be doing voicemails at the very beginning of that show and then toss it to him. So, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this show. If you like us, tell a friend, share us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, or, of course, give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. All right, everybody, thanks so much. Here comes none other than The Crisis and myself talking about everything this week in WWE, and I'll talk to you next time. All right, everybody, welcome to your week in review tonight. Tonight, it has finally happened. We have none other than The Crisis joining us here on the WWE podcast for the week in review. We've been trying to set up some time, and you've heard him over the last couple of AEW Dynamite review shows, doing an excellent job, and you guys seem to really enjoy his reviews as well, sitting in for Mimi while she takes care of life. And so welcome, Crisis, to the show. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. What's good, everybody? I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, definitely. It's about time that we get together, and we've got so much to go over with this week on Raw and SmackDown. Certainly, there's no shortage of topics to dive into, but before we do that, I want to just introduce you to everybody. Maybe they haven't heard the AEW Dynamite review shows you did. Maybe they're not necessarily an AEW fan. They're strictly WWE. And before we jump into this week, I want to give everyone a little bit of background on you as far as a wrestling fan goes. How did you get into wrestling, first of all?
Well, when I was in junior high, that's really when I got into wrestling. I am 40 years old. And when I was in junior high, my best friend, his parents were the quintessential diehard WWF fans. I mean, that whole house, everything was wrestling, was scheduled around wrestling shows and all that. So, I came on with, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker and that whole crew, and then the Attitude Era. But then, I get older and, life happens, you kind of fade out of things. And then literally like about, I don't know, I have to say about 4 years ago. Yeah, about 4 years ago, I was really just sitting at home kind of bored and just thought I'd check it out and see where it was today. And that's where I really got into. I basically came back in as Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, and that whole NXT class had made it to the main roster. And because I'm a big fan of women's wrestling, I'm a big fan of women's MMA. It's just really awesome to see them, on a level that the men are. And to be honest with you, I find it sometimes even better and more exciting. And so, that's how I came back in, and I'm a diehard Becky Lynch fan. I'm sure we'll touch that subject later. It's a sore subject. But, after I got back into it, I really enjoyed the new product, to be honest. And that's when NXT had kind of started as well. And NXT, I started watching that because I started seeing these wrestlers on the main roster. I didn't know anything about them, and everyone kept telling me that, hey, these guys come from NXT. That's where they come from. So I started watching NXT as well, and that's where I became, an absolute. I'm a big fan of the entire class of the last 2 years. Your Adam Coles, your Riddles. I saw when we get to Hit Row, I've seen Swerve Scott's entire WWE career. I've seen Damian Priest's entire WWE career. And that's really, I think, what kind of pushed it even further for me. And then in the last couple of years, I've actually been at some very amazing moments. I'm very, very lucky with impeccable timing. I was in Seattle when the crowd hijacked the show for Daniel Bryan. I was in Seattle when Elias had the biggest boo in practical history. When he disrespected the Seattle Supersonics in Seattle. It was absolutely hilarious. I was there when Edge came back, and I literally bought my tickets to SummerSlam months prior this last year because I was willing to bet the house that is when Becky Lynch would return, and I didn't want to miss. That's not really the main reason. The only reason why I went is because I wanted to be there when she returned, because I'm fully invested in her character. I've met her at a couple of different promo spots, but like I said, with NXT, it allows you to really learn the person behind the character, because you and I both know characters, once they get to the main roster, they could go anywhere. So that's really what did it for me. And then, hey, this last couple of years, AEW, it's exciting. It's something different. It's something fresh, and yes, I did really start watching it because of some of the wrestlers that have come from WWE. But now I have kind of gotten invested in their product as well and what they do. So, yeah, I watch wrestling. It works with my job. I still work a full-time job, the whole 9 yards. But it really does allow me to watch 4 to 5 wrestling shows a week. So that's what I do.
I gotta say, man, like you have gotten so lucky, or maybe it's luck, skill, or the universe all aligning to make you in a position, put you in a position where you get to experience all these moments. And you just came back in 2017 from, I would assume you left around Ruthless Aggression era, maybe the start of it is what I'm guessing, all the way from there until 2017. I mean, that's like a good 10, 15 years. And so, wow, that's a hell of a gap to really not see, and that also presents an opportunity to go back, of course, on Peacock or the WWE Network, whatever, and be able to experience moments. But you have been in attendance for quite some big moments, and I know that people may not know some may not know we're talking about the Seattle Supersonics. Guys, it's on YouTube. Like, just go and watch that clip of Elias when he's doing his routine of a number of years ago, and it was the loudest I've ever heard, at least in the last 5-10 years. It was unbelievable, and people sitting at home were like, "What the hell is going? What did he say?" So people at home were kind of like, "I get it. He trashed the local sports team." But yeah, anyway,
it's not just trash the local sports team. It's like the Sonics to us are like the New Orleans Saints to New Orleans.
Yeah.
See, there's diehard fans. We had Kevin Durant in his rookie of the year. A guy comes from out of town. They can't get a stadium built. He says he's going to get a stadium built, and then he just jacked the Supersonics and took them out. And no, it's an emotional response. That's a great video to watch because it's not just heat. It is solid emotion, anger, and disgust. And watching them two, Elias and Kevin Owens, really try to finish the promo and look at each other, not sure what to do. I mean, it is one of my favorite moments in wrestling, period. And I'm honored that I got to be there.
One that was not supposed to happen. I mean, I'm sure they expected some boos, but I don't think they anticipated the nuclear heat that was really directed towards them. Like you said, emotional response, which is really what people watch wrestling for in the first place, to feel something emotionally. At least that's what I believe.
For the ones standing guard, for the eagle-eyed, for the knights in shining armor, and for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call clickgrainger.com/safety or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hate crimes are dangerous and insidious, but you have the power to help stop them. If you witness or experience a hate crime, a criminal offense motivated by race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, or other characteristics, you can report it to the FBI, who is committed to protecting communities and supporting victims. Submit a tip at 800-CALL-FBI or tips.fbi.gov. The FBI is here to help, protecting our communities together. Report hate crimes.
BECU is proud to be the official credit union of the Seattle Seahawks and a part of the 12 community. United by our love for the Seahawks, 12s are more than just fans. We're members of the team, which makes being a member of BECU that much better. So get the official Seahawks debit MasterCard from BECU and pay with blue and green pride with every purchase. BECU, not for profit, all for 12s. Federally insured by NCUA. Call 1-800-233-2328 for details.
And so as we turn it to really the current day here, I want to get this out of the way first, because as you and I talked off air, the Charlotte conversation has really been at the forefront of so many different so many shows, websites, including ours. And it, as you mentioned before the show started, you said that on the mailbag, so many people wanted to talk about Charlotte, and they did. And rightfully so. It is a big deal. But I do want to touch on it quickly here, just so that we're not ignoring it or whatever. What is let me just clear the air here. What is your belief on exactly what the hell is going on with Charlotte and WWE?
I believe it's kind of funny, and sometimes you get to see, a character taken over by the real persona. This is a case where I think the real persona is now resembling Charlotte Flair, the character. I think Fox taking her, and specifically, I just think about what the other girls backstage thought about that, about Fox specifically requesting Charlotte Flair. If I'm a Liv Morgan, Becky, Carmella, all them in the back, I'm like, well, hey, because the beautiful part about wrestling is the only way that you can be top tier and get to that level is working with other people. You don't do it on your own. She has to have matches with other people. She has to have promos with other people. You have to put people over. And I really think I believe that there's resentment back there. I've seen the video millions of times. I honestly believe that whole title exchange was a debacle. And I really, ultimately, something that not many people have said is I'm really proud, and I have a lot of respect for Sonya Deville, because this is what I believe, from all the information that we gather, is after the debacle in the ring, Charlotte Flair goes to the back. Becky Lynch talks, and she was there to stand her ground, put her feet down. The rest of the locker room really supported her in that. But that was a verbal thing. You know what I'm saying? The reason why Charlotte Flair, in my opinion, got escorted out by security, it wasn't for Charlotte to keep Charlotte Flair from interacting with anybody else or starting something. It was because Sonya Deville was not waiting backstage to talk. Sonya Deville was waiting backstage to throw hands. She wanted the smoke, quote unquote. And I think, and I really love this, because, we've gotten to see, and, the character of Charlotte Flair, entitled, she gets everything given to her. She's always a champion, this and that and the other thing, but now I believe that, honestly, that some of it has bled into reality. And, I don't think it was a good idea for everybody to know, that she was specifically picked for SmackDown. I do agree that Charlotte Flair should have dropped the title to Bianca Belair, but hey, she's not the boss. And so I think that, there's just a little power struggle there. And, hypothetically, there is always that chance. I know it's a 1% chance that she ever leaves, but, we've said that about other people. Like, they let Bray Wyatt walk away. They let Aleister Black go. They let Adam Cole go. I know her hubby, her boo thing is over there in AEW. And the recent, horrible press from her dad, her dad's been excommunicated basically from WWE. So maybe she is trying to sabotage her own situation to force WWE to do something with her, and, maybe she is trying to get out. And I think it'd be a bad idea for her. But then again, we never know, because this is all speculation. None of us truly know what has really gone down. All we can do is read all these stories and try to put it together ourselves. And that's all we're doing.
That's all we're doing. And, some of these things we're saying are probably half truths, partial truths, or maybe no truth at all. We'll never know until eventually, you would think eventually the dust will settle and everything will be revealed in time. But until that time happens, we are sitting here just stewing our own thoughts about what could actually be going on. We're only seeing what they're showing us on TV, which is blending a little bit of reality and a little bit of fantasy, and you're not sure which is which. And we get the news sites, the big news sites that report all these things, and Mr. Dave Meltzer, who says this and that, and take whatever he says with a grain of salt, because sometimes we all know what he says is not always 100% true. So look, what I really believe, is that Charlotte seems to be unhappy. And whether it is because she does want to rather be in AEW, where maybe, Andrade is talking up AEW, like, hey, listen, I would love to have you here. This company is so much better. It's so much less stress. The environment's so much easier to take. Maybe she is trying to, like you said, force WWE's hand, be a problem so that WWE, when her contract is up, decide to release her, or maybe release her sooner. It is possible. I think if you're going to ask me, I think that's a part of it. I don't think that's all of it, because it doesn't seem like this is one singular thing that is happening here. It seems like multiple things with Charlotte are happening, which are leading to this true heat backstage. So I think that when you take that into consideration, that it's not just one single event, then it becomes very complicated. It's multi-layered. And we're left here to speculate like we're doing right now. But I would think that Andrade being in a different company and now they're engaged, like, that is certainly a strain on her relationship. She'd rather be with her fiance. I mean, and I understand that. I get that. And but I don't think that's a singular reason. So look, we saw this week, though, with her and Sasha Banks. Charlotte opened the show and Sasha came to the ring. Man, there seemed to be, like, you and I have been watching wrestling a long time. You can tell when it's like produced heat and when there's something behind what they're saying. There's a lot of truth. And I will say the looks that they were giving each other, it's not produced. Oh, your character hates my character, we're going to have a fight. No. There was something deeper. The way that Charlotte was interacting, mocking Sasha, mocking her moves, mocking her laugh, like just the way that she was interacting. I've never seen Charlotte do that to try to degrade her in front of the camera. It's not a produced piece of this segment, at least not in my estimation. What did you take from Sasha and Charlotte this past Friday night?
Well, I gotta say, this is going to be really fun, because I literally talk at you all the time when you're doing your weekend review. I answer you and I argue with you and I yell at you, when I'm listening. So it's really cool to, actually have a moment where I agree 100%. When I watched that promo, I had the same thing. I can't exactly remember what she said. She made a couple comments during that promo, and I'm sitting here watching it with my friend, and I'm looking over. I'm like, that's some real talk. She, and I agree with you. It did. That whole promo felt more like Charlotte Flair, the real human being, the performer, and not the character. And that's what I think that is happening. Is she's purposely, in my opinion, I believe that she is trying to upstage other girls, in the ring. Now she's tried it with Nia Jax, she's tried it with Becky Lynch, she's doing it with Sasha Banks, and ultimately that the reason why, like I said earlier, that it might give her a chance to get out as in sabotaging her situation, is because when you're in the ring, you need to trust the other person in the ring with you. If she keeps this up, it's going to get to a point, where maybe necessarily people won't trust her in the ring. And that makes for an unsafe environment. It makes for, you and I both know an injury can happen at any single moment. And so, regardless of characters, the storylines and all that, the bottom line is when you watch any single match, it is two people that have to have a trust in each other to work together in unison, because if there's anything that is not all the way there on that point, there's a chance of injury. And that's what I think is going to happen. It's going to get to a point where none of the girls want to work with her. I mean, she's already starting to get to that point. I remember, back in the day with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, Bret had walked up to Shawn Michaels and said, hey, I know we don't like each other, but, I'm going to do my job, and I know you can trust me in the ring. And Shawn Michaels looked right back at him and says, I can't say the same, and that sets up for a dangerous situation, because ultimately I don't ever want someone to get hurt and all that nonsense, but hey, if no one feels safe or wants to work with her, eventually what are you going to do?
Yeah, your hands are going to be tied. And if Charlotte is purposely sabotaging her own career so that she's released, I really don't think that's a good idea. It's just because you have made yourself in WWE. That's where you were born essentially, and you were made. She's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. She is a living Hall of Famer right now for the women's division, no question. So everything she does from here on out is just gravy. And that said, I just don't think it's good for her career to just purposefully cut it short. I just think that would show a little bit of immaturity on her end. Now, again, I don't know the whole situation. Of course, this is where the speculation problem comes in. But I don't think it would be a good look for her, even if her goal is maybe to get to AEW so she can get the hell out of that environment and also join her fiance and just be in a much more relaxed place to work. But you are also showing your future employer that, hey, yeah, I'll sabotage myself and sacrifice the product quality for my own career. That is what you don't want to show your future employer. So if this is indeed self-sabotage on Charlotte's part to get out of WWE, I think it's a bad idea on her part. I think that she just needs to abide by the terms and conditions of her contract. If she wants out after her contract is over, fine. According to Dave Meltzer, again, he says, quote, a long time is remaining on her contract, said to be more than a year. So if that's true, then she has maybe multiple years on her contract. She needs to fulfill that obligation, and then if she wants to leave, then she can leave then. But it's really going to be a bad idea on her part. It'll feel good in the moment, and like it's that quote unquote yes queen moment, and until AEW gets involved and they say, hey, wait a minute, why would we want to hire somebody that would be this selfish, that cares more about their own interests in going into business for themselves rather than our own product? So that's where I feel like it could get a little messy for her if she tries to do this.
Today, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. And the best part? There's no annual contract. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
Fall is the season of gathering that brings us together with warmth and color. So whether it's a birthday, anniversary, or a special event, celebrate your friends and family with a gorgeous bouquet of roses from 1-800-Flowers.com. 1-800-Flowers makes it easy to brighten someone's day with 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99. To get 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
BECU is proud to be the official credit union of the Seattle Seahawks and a part of the 12 community. United by our love for the Seahawks, 12s are more than just fans. We're members of the team, which makes being a member of BECU that much better. So get the official Seahawks debit MasterCard from BECU and pay with blue and green pride with every purchase. BECU, not for profit, all for 12s. Federally insured by NCUA. Call 1-800-233-2328 for details.
Yeah, I'd have to totally agree there, but the really good part about I don't mean to jump the gun, but the really good part about that promo, it was a little bit weird and a little uncomfortable, but man, what happened later on after that promo, what that got ignited, that's something I'm excited about.
Let's talk about it. The Shotzi, right?
Yes, heel.
Go for it.
The greatest part is because I know you don't watch NXT, but Shotzi, she's another professional wrestler, JR, that I have seen her whole career. And I saw her when she debuted, and I looked at her. I was like, that girl has the look. She's got the height. Because she's a lot taller than you realize until you see her next to shorter girls. But I've watched her, her entire NXT run, and she was a character that was really, really apprehensive about coming to the main roster. But you know, the big win, the big respect and props in this whole storyline is Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks sold the hell out of that beating. She put Shotzi over so big, and it was such a beautiful heel turn, because that was something that I was really thinking needed to happen. I mean, she is a fun character, but you know, I don't know if you've seen the movie Tank Girl, but that's where I kind of feel like she got her mood from. But you add Shotzi in there. The Tank, I will admit, it is. I feel like this was the first time that Pat McAfee had kind of an off night, because I know they were in his ear trying to tell him to put over that stupid Tank. The Tank's cool. I just don't think it needs all the attention and the rocket shooting off of it. But hey, you know, I'll take the good with the bad. But the fact that the Tank was there came into great effect as Shotzi just beat down Bianca or Sasha Banks. And I'm curious what you thought of that. You know, just the whole idea of putting her over and the heel turn. Because in my opinion, I feel like not many things WWE does is flawless and perfect. I feel like the match and her losing and, you know, going into the heel turn and whooping down Sasha Banks, I feel like that was huge, because that solidified her as a heel. And if Charlotte Flair is to you know, not going to be able to have anyone work with her, maybe she needs to take some time away. There's your new top heel in the women's division.
Seems like everybody's turning heel and no one's turning babyface. You notice that? Like, it seems like there's always a heel turn. It's like 5 heel turns for every babyface turn, it seems like. But yeah, look, Shotzi had a career night, at least on the main roster anyway. For those that are not familiar with her work regularly, like myself, and I think probably most casual fans of the product don't follow NXT. I mean, the ratings pan that out. So you look at the numbers, it's kind of the same thing. That said, though, those that didn't know her now know her name now. And the match that she had was, it wasn't like, I'd say WrestleMania main event or something like that, but it was a hell of a main event. It was hard hitting. She felt like she belonged. She wasn't just this kind of throw in from NXT that you would look at and go, well, you know, she'll have a career eventually. No, it looks like she's here to play right now, and there's no better time to have another big player than right now in a women's division that is thin as hell on both ends. And I think that she did just a spectacular job in her match with Charlotte. Of course, the quote-unquote heel turn. And I say quote-unquote heel turn because I do believe that's how it was designed. I agree with you. But when you look at this, well, yeah, but here's the thing. You have 3 heels in this segment. Like, you have Sasha, you have Charlotte, and you have Shotzi, who's now turned heel. So,
well, I think that something we miss is that Sasha Banks. I know we don't trust her. That's why I had to tell my friend that over and over again. You can't trust her. Her and Kevin Owens are 2 characters that doesn't matter how babyface they go. I mean, her boo's a backstabber, okay? But that was, in my opinion, at the same time, they turned Sasha Banks babyface.
A double turn? You think it's a double turn?
That's exactly what it was.
Could be. You're right. It could be a double turn, and that's how I was trying to formulate it in my mind of like, okay, I think that's what they're doing here. So once again, we're supposed to dislike Sasha because she just got beat down by an NXT up-and-coming star. Yet, look at all the dastardly things that Sasha has done over the years. And with a laugh like that, it's going to be very difficult for me to cheer for her. I think she's an excellent talent, but there's so much working against her. The fact that, like you said, you can't trust her. She turns heel every moment that they get. I mean, she's babyface for like 2-3 months, and bam, they flip her and she's back to heel. So the trust of fans getting behind Sasha, I don't think is going to be immediate, because they are going to look at this and go, yeah, we've seen this before. We've been here many, many times. So I don't think it's going to be immediate. Plus, people are excited to see Shotzi, who's new in a lot of fans' eyes. They're excited for the new. They want to see stars on the rise. And so I think it could be an opposite effect, if they're not careful, of while it was supposed to be maybe a heel turn for her, it could end up being a babyface turn because they have this rough around the edges, badass chick from NXT that just came up and put both of those women in their place. I mean, so you got to be careful. If it was designed as a double turn, I don't know if that is going to be exactly the way that things pan out over the next several weeks to months.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the big reason why I feel like it was a solid heel turn for Shotzi is because Shotzi was over in NXT. She's been over for a while. They just a quick history. They had her, in there, and then she was in a tag team with Tegan Nox. She was in a tag team with Ember Moon. But she was always, more the fun, just trying to be fun and colorful and hey, I'm trying my best and working my way up the mountain. And that's why, I saw a completely different side of Shotzi Blackheart, of a complete 180 different side of her on that show, because and I've always thought this whole time that that's what she needed, because that goes into the other heel turn that happened. Both her and Damian Priest, yeah, they were baby faces, but I'm sitting there looking at them both the whole time like, man, can I just get them as a heel? Because that's going to be so much better. It's more comfortable, and it seems to fit her look and her character so much better, both her and Damian Priest. So that's why, I really feel, that it's a solid heel turn for her, and her beating down Sasha Banks so bad. That put it this way, that beatdown, I literally said it when we were watching it. I was like, I'm going to bet money that this beatdown of Sasha Banks lasts longer than the whole Queen's Crown tournament.
A lot of things lasted longer than the Queen Crown's tournament. I mean, you look at Roman Reigns' entrances probably combined for longer than the Queen's Crown tournament. I mean, so it's that is a whole nother conversation for sure. But yeah, look, it's kind of putting a bow on the Shotzi Blackheart thing. I do believe that this was a heel turn. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you that was their intent. I just don't know if an execution long term, if that's how it's going to actually be perceived by fans, and then if fans just don't go, yeah, no, we love this, we're going to cheer this. So right. The fans could have an opposite effect, as a lot of times fans do, and we'll see. It's only been, I mean, it just happened. So, all right. Moving on, though. And by the way, the Nerf gun tank, I would do away with it immediately. Like, I don't need to have like a Power Wheels toy tank out there shooting Nerf guns and then we're supposed to be told they're missiles. I mean, like, I know that don't mean that literally, but to me, it's so childish. I don't like it, but I know a lot of people find it entertaining. That's cool, but man, get rid of the damn tank. It's anyway. All right. I do want to ask you here. Let's see. Where do I go next? So many different places. The absence of Roman Reigns while he wasn't on the show, do you think there's anything to that?
No. I actually thought it was absolutely beautiful. I thought it was needed. It's something that was needed that we didn't know we needed. Because when Roman is on the show, I mean, rightfully so. I mean, he's having, in a lot of people's opinions, one of the best runs in history. He's starting to creep up there, in the runs of, the Stone Colds and the Rock and whatnot. He still needs another year or so of solid doing this, but, he's on a tear. And I actually, because the headline, you had the Usos, in the main event, I thought that was fine. I thought that was solid, just give him a break, and because we know he's over so far that we know what Roman's doing. We know, the threat he is and what he brings to the table. So just having him off of one episode, this is what it did. And please I'm going to try not to laugh out loud, but this is true. His ring entrance alone probably allowed, just taking that out, they were able to put in the Sasha Banks beatdown.
When we keep Idaho students in classrooms, they have better physical and mental health. Help keep the student you love in school by getting them vaccinated if they're eligible. Make sure they wear a mask, frequently wash their hands, and stay home and get tested when sick. Our teachers and other school staff can also do their part by choosing to vaccinate, wearing a mask, and supporting other preventive measures. For more information on preventive measures, please visit coronavirus.idaho.gov or contact your child's school.
Today, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. And the best part? There's no annual contract. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
Fall is a season of gathering that brings us together with warmth and color. So whether it's a birthday, anniversary, or a special event, celebrate your friends and family with a gorgeous bouquet from 1-800-Flowers.com. 1-800-Flowers makes it easy to find your reason and brighten someone's day with exclusive offers and great values on bouquets and arrangements. To order today, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
Yeah.
Like if you have Roman Reigns on the show, you have to realize that there is about an 8 or 9 minute TV time. Not when I watched it at SummerSlam, I made the same. I think I said this on the mailbag. I made a bet with the guy next to me that Roman Reigns' entrance would last longer than Goldberg's match, and I was only off by 2 minutes. Yeah, and so, but you take his entrance, and I'm not bashing his entrance. It's needed. But there is that now that he's always on every show. They do need to find some creative ways of maybe not show. We don't need to see the whole darn entrance every time, because it takes up so much time. That time right there is enough for a whole match. And I believe that just taking him out of the picture for one episode allowed them to fill and actually use and bring out these new stars that are, recently drafted to SmackDown. And in my opinion, I 100% believe that the reason why he wasn't on the show was because they needed that time for that beatdown on Sasha Banks. Because I don't think they told the girls, you only have this X amount of time. And I think they wanted to let it be a little more fluid, so with the crowd reaction and all that. And she hit it out of the park. They had the time allotted to do it. Hey, I can see Roman Reigns again next week, or he could put out a tweet and just do the same thing he could do,
Yeah, it was one of those omissions from a show that you really notice. And it was, I did end up feeling like I missed the guy, even though I love to hate him and I would boo him. I wouldn't cheer him, because I think he's cool. No. I would give him the respect he deserves. And I mean that by booing the hell out of him. And that's how, if you want to respect Roman Reigns, boo the hell out of him, because by the way, this may be your one and only heel run from Vince for Roman Reigns to do, because Vince after this is going to have the brightest eyes and the most just wacky ideas about his babyface run when it does happen. It will happen. So guys, boo him while you can and while you should. That said, this was a massive omission from SmackDown. Did it hurt the show? I mean, I don't think it hurt the show, but it didn't add anything. Obviously, I think that having Roman not there it did feel like something was missing, because Roman has been such a staple and the face of SmackDown for a year and a half now, that it was like, oh, that's right, where's Roman? But if they don't have anything for him to build to Survivor Series, and it doesn't seem like they even mentioned Survivor Series, like it was just like they don't even know where they're going next, and it is Survivor Series in 3 weeks. That's not too long of a time. Did they even mention Survivor Series, by the way, on the show? I didn't hear that once.
Is it really 3 weeks away?
Yes, November 21st.
Wow, that's how much I don't care about it.
See? Yeah.
Because I agree with you on that, but unless they have a story, I just don't buy into. I don't want to see any of my champions take L's. I think it's absolutely stupid to have your champions take L's. And that's all I feel comes out of that. But think about it this way. They got you. I think they did exactly what they meant to do. They made you notice and miss Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Just by because sometimes you have a wrestler, take time off, months off, and then they make this big surprise return. All he had to do, he's doing so good. All he needed was a day. One show to not be there, and eat, whether you love him, you hate him, you boo him, you cheer him, we noticed. And that's probably exactly what they meant to do.
And I think it had the intended effect. And if I was in attendance and I wasn't told beforehand that Roman wasn't going to be there, I'd be a little bit disappointed. And I'm sure the crowd was a bit disappointed in Mohegan Sun of like, hey, where the hell is Roman? He is the guy on SmackDown, the guy in the company right now. So, but what did you?
He did. The crowd in the stadium, they actually got to see him.
Oh, they did.
He did a dark match.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of that. I'm glad you're that's good. Okay, so they did get their fill of Roman. That is a good thing. But here's my question: what did you think about Paul Heyman and Kayla Braxton, they have such good chemistry? I mean, my God, I love their chemistry on screen. What did you think about what he had to say regarding what Brock Lesnar would do or what Roman Reigns would do? And then he started going into his Brock Lesnar promo voice and kind of stopped himself, realizing that he got caught up in it, and then said, basically, I got to go, leaving us to speculate more. What did you think about that whole thing?
All I can say is we are watching a future Hall of Famer, current Hall of Famer, in my opinion, one of the best promo men in the absolute business. Oh, hands down, like him and MJF. I'm like, wow, it is amazing what they do. And I thought it was beautiful. And it's so nice because I think the thing that really kind of put Paul Heyman over with his promos, I mean, he's always been good with the Brock run and all that, but Kayla Braxton, she's been one of my favorites in the company for years. She's one of the rare, professionals, in the business that I follow on, social media and whatnot. She's just so much fun to listen to and watch and all that. But that is Paul Heyman's nemesis. That's his counterpart. I think it's beautiful that, that they were able to get these two back together, because I actually would watch Talking Smack every weekend. I looked forward to it. Ever since Kayla Braxton and Paul Heyman are off of it, I haven't watched it once, because I would watch it just for them two, because I've watched her grow into such an amazing she was awkward at first and early on in her career, but her and Paul Heyman, I could watch them. I look forward to it every week, just her sneaking up at it, as soon as you at the opportune time, she always sneaks up. And she's grown so much that she almost, helps put Paul Heyman over, even though he could usually just do it on himself, but it's so much better when he has a counterpart. And I think Paul Heyman nailed it. I really enjoyed the promo. I like the fact that, I was sitting here with my friend watching the show, and, he was like, nope, yep, he's on Roman's side. Like, he was convinced. I'd watched it already, but he was convinced that he was on Roman's side. No way around it. I was like, yeah, just wait for it. And I love the way that he's kept himself on the fence. He's kept this story. This is one of the quietest, yet still one of the main, it's part of the main storyline, but it has been every week. You just don't know. I mean, there is arguments for one side, there's arguments for the other side, and it causes us to do exactly what we did off air, really speculating, where they're going to go from there. Where's he going to go? What happens? I've heard you talk about, and speculate the ideas, bringing them together, or are they going to have a feud, or is he going to go one way or the other? And that's why that storyline is doing so well, because they are hitting every single point. And I don't believe that Roman or Brock, for that matter, would be knocking this out of the park for so well without Paul Heyman. And he's the glue to this storyline. And A+ on his promo for that. I loved how I love it when he slips into his Brock Lesnar. I love it. Now, it's gotten to the point that every time I say Brock Lesnar in conversation, I do say it like Paul Heyman.
I hear you. Yeah, when I say Brock Lesnar, just the way I say it right now, it doesn't feel like I'm giving him the due respect that he deserves, and put a little respect on his name, right? Like, that's what it feels like. But the other part of this, not only Paul Heyman is continuing to just be masterful, keeping us on the fence, and him catching himself going into the promo style of Brock, is Adam Pearce. And he fined Brock Lesnar $1 million. And it seems as if Adam Pearce now and Sonya Deville have really dove headfirst into a heel role now. Now, he's not adversely or very just explicitly being a heel, abusing his power, but when's the last time that they fined anybody $1 million? I can't even remember in storyline the last time they did that. Usually it's like $100,000. They fined Brock Lesnar $1 million, of course, in storyline, and they Adam Pearce said that that will never happen again, that I deserve the respect. I put everything I have into this company. And he's trying to almost get himself over a little bit, but boy, the crowd was booing the hell out of him, which I think was the intended response. There can't be a match between Brock and Adam Pearce in the future. I mean, if there is, it's going to be a squash. So what is this leading to? I mean, eventually Brock is going to come back. We know that. What do you think this is all going to culminate in between Brock and Adam Pearce?
Well, I think in a lot of my opinion, I really feel like Adam Pearce arrived this week. The Adam Pearce because I've never really been all in. I'm right there with you. The managerial, not the managerial, but the executive roles that him and Sonya Deville play. Like, it's really, sometimes it doesn't even seem necessary because you don't know where they're at. And I actually don't believe that. I mean, Sonya Deville, yeah, she's healed, but she's also preparing to get back into the ring. So she needs to, solidify herself as a healer babyface as she goes back. Adam Pearce, I felt like he, in storyline purposes, I felt like he was professional. And I felt like he was, that's what a boss would do if something like that, I'm not saying that, at McDonald's, I mean, probably call them the cops, but that's the way an executive should be acting. And I like the fact that he stayed at home to do that promo, and because I felt like it really hit harder. Because he's kind of a goofy looking dude to me sometimes, so it's kind of hard to take him seriously. But he was able to do that promo, recorded, and actually really that. They get a chance then to clean it up or retake or whatever. But I really felt like he nailed that promo. And I mean, Brock Lesnar is the only one you can find $1 million because he's the only one you believe has $1 million just laying around somewhere.
Today, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. And the best part? There's no annual contract. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
Does that extra hour of sleep actually do anyone any good? It's just one night. The secret to getting a great night's sleep every night is the GelFlex Grid, and only Purple has it. That's what makes Purple mattresses soft where you want it, firm where you need it, and instantly respond to movement. Plus, it's 80% air, so you won't sleep too hot or too cold. Now that you know the secret to a great night's sleep, take advantage of this limited time offer. Get a free set of sheets and 2 pillows with the purchase of select mattresses at purple.com/sleepwell. Terms apply.
Fall is a season of gathering that brings us together with warmth and color. So whether it's a birthday, anniversary, or a special event, celebrate your friends and family with a gorgeous bouquet from 1-800-Flowers.com. 1-800-Flowers makes it easy to find your reason and brighten someone's day with exclusive offers and great values on bouquets and arrangements. To order today, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
But I think the real reason why he's stepped into the storyline in this Brock and Roman storyline is because Brock isn't going to be on every show. He's only contracted for a certain amount of shows, certain amount of appearances, and that's this time around with Brock. Because I was a Brock hater with him in the Roman run, even though Roman wasn't a great babyface either. I hated it when Brock Lesnar had the title. Absolutely hated it. Because hey, he wasn't around. The title's not being shown, so you'd have weeks on end where there was nothing with the title because Brock's only there, contracted for a certain amount of shows. But this time around, the suspension, perfect. The fine, okay, cool, I'm with it. Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman cutting promos. You don't have. They're keeping Brock Lesnar in your mind and in your attention without him having to be there every week. And that's something they weren't able to do before, to our delight, because I mean, it's crazy hearing Brock Lesnar get cheered the way he gets cheered now, and, because I was always, just a straight boo. I mean, I'm not saying he was on Goldberg level where I just did not want him on my television, But this time around, I'm enjoying Brock Lesnar. I'm enjoying everything he's done. I'm enjoying him in the storyline. But the biggest thing is I think they're doing a very good job of filling the gaps that they have to fill, because we all know Brock is not going to be there every week. And I honestly, I think it's beautiful. This whole storyline, this whole Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and everybody involved. I don't know anybody that's dropping the ball. The Usos, Roman, none of them have dropped the ball, and that's something that I haven't seen in a long time. Is we seem to be conditioned now to WWE, doing something right for 5 minutes and then be like, oh, hey, what about this? And then Vince McMahon rewrites the script. They throw what they think will put smiles on people's faces, and crap. Look at Liv Morgan. Okay, But so this is being done well, and there's got to be a lot of credit that goes to the writers on this one, creative. We never give them props really, because they're not usually doing the best job all the time. But on this one, man, there's nothing. I don't have any negative about this Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns storyline in any way, shape, or form. Everybody is doing their job, and they're doing it well.
I cannot remember in my maybe one time in my entire my entire fandom of watching wrestling, that there has been such consistency. That's the big key word here. Like, good storylines come and go in short bursts. I can't remember the last time, other than maybe Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon, that whole brilliance in the late 90s that panned out. But I can't remember outside of that, the storyline that was just so well done for so long like this. And I'm not saying it's as successful as Stone Cold and Vince, but my point is that its longevity and its consistency in being effective is really mind-boggling. And it's crazy that since August of 2020, when Roman returned as a heel at SummerSlam, we've been talking about it since. They have not made one misstep. I mean, like, there hasn't been 1 week where I'm like, man, they really screwed Roman this week. This doesn't make sense. What are they doing? Not once. Not once. It's amazing the job that they've done with Roman and this whole storyline, and Brock, and really anybody that they've brought in, whether it was Kevin Owens or Cesaro, whoever it may be, John Cena. They have made everybody coming out of that look a little bit better. You can make an argument for Cesaro or Kevin Owens, of course, but in general, they have done an excellent, excellent job. The longevity and consistency of this storyline is something we may not see again for quite some time.
Right. I 100% agree there. I literally, this is the story that every SmackDown, I find myself waiting for it. Just like that's the reason why him being gone this week, we all have had so many weeks and so long now. We're waiting to see what's going to happen with Roman. Like, what's he going to do now? What's Brock going to do? What's the Usos, the ones? Like, what's going to happen? And for him to not be there, like I said, they did their job, and they're doing exactly what they need to do. And consistency, that is the word. That is absolutely the word.
Well, on the flip side, as we talk about the officials, which essentially is just another rebranding of the commissioner or the GM role or whatever. I mean, they're all just the same type of authority figure. Is Sonya Deville, who continues to screw with Naomi. And I will say I'm actually really high on this storyline because it started off where she was ignoring Naomi, and we all knew that, okay, what's happening here? Some people speculated a match may come out of it. Others didn't. And we eventually will get there, but we keep having this disrespectful Sonya Deville she hasn't told us why she has a grudge against Naomi yet. Maybe we'll find out. But she continues to screw with her. She continues to get the one-up on her, refereeing her match this week with Shayna Baszler, the insanely fast quick count, refusing to count Shayna Baszler's shoulders down, and then, of course, the Karafuda clutch gets locked in at the end of the match, and she has yet to get her hands on Sonya Deville. I think this is just a nice, really fun secondary storyline in the women's division that doesn't have to do with the championship, which is always nice.
I'm sorry, I can't agree. This is one I can't agree on.
All right, cool, go for it.
Because the main reason, too long. too long. Like I was in on the beginning, but get the story going. Like, can we get this story moving? Because I feel like it's just been the same thing every week. You know, they haven't progressed. In my opinion, I mean, they had a great idea. I agree with the idea. You know, with her having an issue with Naomi, you know, and, you know, kind of holding her down the whole 9 yards. But to me, it's been the same thing week after week after week. And at some point, you know, in the beginning, you know, there was a couple weeks there where a lot of us fans were just so excited to see Sonya Deville return to the ring. And now they've waited so long to get to that point of the story that I've already started paying attention to other things, you know? I'm already checking out. And then the second part of this is, and I think actually this is where you will agree with me, I do not want to see Shayna Baszler put over Naomi. Period.
No.
Not at all. No. I'm right there with you. You know, breaking arms, you know, tap, nap, or snap. I mean, thank you, Nia Jax. Which I will just put this out there. Nia Jax is 100% my most go-away heat female wrestler in the business. Period. I have no want or anything to see her on TV in any way, shape, or form. I don't respect her as a wrestler. None of it. And her with Shayna Baszler for so long, I felt like was holding Shayna back for a very long time. So once she got free of Nia Jax, woo, okay. Because, you know, Shayna Baszler is a certified bad, you know what, you know? I don't know what I can say, you know, PG. Bad butt. She's a bad butt, okay? But, you know, I really wanted to see her used because I feel like she's underutilized. And I know that's a common theme amongst the women wrestlers, but that's my problem with this storyline. It's not that I wasn't in. I was. But you got to keep this story going. And to me, it's that it doesn't have the consistency, you know? And it doesn't have it's just not popping to me anymore because they're taking too long for me to get there. I believe that Sonya Deville should have been in the ring by now. Even if she came in and just squashed the absolute crap out of Naomi, you know, that'd be fine. I'm cool with whatever, but that's why I just can't. I'm already finding myself checking out and taking a Lunchable break during these promos.
Lunchable. That's a nice, yeah. Boy, I miss those. I used to eat those in high school or middle school. Middle school was more of my Lunchables. Those of you that don't know what Lunchables are, don't look at the nutrition facts. Just eat it.
No, just go get one. It's
yeah, exactly. But that said, I get it. Like, you feel that this is just taking too long. Let's just get to the damn match. I get that. And if you are one that doesn't have patience for this, then you are somebody that you're just like, all right, I'm done with this. Let's just take a quick break and I'll get to the next segment. I get that. But at the same time, I guess I like things that are easier to follow. This is extremely easy to understand. Doesn't require a whole lot of thinking. It's just, okay, this woman is disrespecting this woman. She's in a position of power. She is abusing that power by putting herself as the referee, saying she's going to be in a match with her, and then doesn't. And she has a crony of Shayna Baszler here. Now, I'm with you, though. Shayna Baszler, if she should not ever, and under any circumstances, lose to Naomi. If you're telling me that basically Naomi's backside to Shayna Baszler's face is going to be the finish of the match, I mean, I don't know what world I'm living in. I mean, Shayna Baszler is a legitimate, credentialed, badass woman that needs to snap people's arms. And she started. It was very encouraging. She started by snapping Nia Jax's arm. She snapped Eva Marie's arm. I'm like, all right, here we go. Yes, let's do it. And then they just kind of stopped out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh no. They were all about it, and then they stopped. I'm like, oh, what are they doing? I will say, while it's not the exact Shayna Baszler I want right now, of just being kind of a crony for Sonya Deville, more of a pawn for her, it's better than her being in a tag team. Like, almost anything's better than Shayna Baszler being in a tag team with Nia Jax. So I will take this every day, twice on Sunday, if it means the alternative is being in a tag team, of which, by the way, the women don't have a tag team division right now. Like, they have none, zero. They have tag champions and nobody to contend them. That's another conversation. That said, I really, really enjoy. I do. I mean, you're not on board with this. That's cool. I know a lot of other people probably are and aren't. I feel like this one would be split amongst our listeners, and that's what that's what wrestling's about. It's all subjective. I like it because I know what the payoff's going to be. It's eventually going to be Sonya Deville taking a pinfall from Naomi, and I'm okay with that. But I also want Sonya Deville back in the ring full time. I don't want her in this ridiculous suit. I want her in the ring and on the mic, showing how good she can be, because she is really good. I don't need her in a position of authority at all, which we were never told how she got in the first place anyway. So
today I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. And the best part? There's no annual contract. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
Fall is the season of gathering that brings us together with warmth and color. So whether it's a birthday, anniversary, or a special event, celebrate your friends and family with a gorgeous bouquet of roses from 1-800-Flowers.com. 1-800-Flowers makes it easy to brighten someone's day with 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99. To get 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
With Optiv Managed XDR on your side, your cybersecurity team can proactively defend your company with confidence. Optiv Managed XDR offers the expertise you need to get ahead of today's and tomorrow's cyber threats.
I'm 100%. I guess just to put a pin in it. After that's what's beautiful about talking wrestling with somebody else, and that's why I listen to all these podcasts, because like I said, I'm talking, you obviously don't answer me because you're in the Alexa, but sorry, can't say that word in my house. Yep.
That's right. No, you can't say that. Yeah, activate some stuff. Yeah.
Funny story is I actually have to mute her when Miss Bliss is on TV because it makes it go haywire. But anyways, after listening to what you have to say, and whatnot, like I know exactly what checked me out of the storyline, and it's because I don't have faith in WWE not jobbing out Shayna Baszler for the sake of the storyline, and that's why I'm out. Because if Shayna Baszler is the minute Shayna Baszler got involved in this, I was like, oh no. Because we had weeks of seeing that progression. I'm right. I was listening to you, and I was just as excited with her snapping arms and getting people off television. I'm like, yes. And then they put her in this storyline, and I'm like, there's a bunch of other girls back there you could have probably used for this. And I feel like it stalled Shayna Baszler's whatever she's supposed to be doing or whatnot, and I just don't think it was a good move. I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared for Shayna.
Let me say this: if they sacrifice Shayna Baszler and Naomi beats her clean because she is the crony for Sonya Deville, then I'm out. Like, check me out, because there's no need to sacrifice Shayna here. I mean, none. This is between Sonya and Naomi, and I still want to see Sonya back in full time. And if Naomi beats Sonya like fair and square, I can live with that, but Shayna Baszler is another caliber of talent that you should not beat cleanly unless there's a special circumstance one-on-one. So, all right, let's move on to another match here. And guys, as you all know, we do focus a little more heavily on SmackDown. While we have Michael Ritter, who does an excellent job covering SmackDown, I don't get to give my opinions about it until I get to this show, and we've already done a full Monday Night Raw review. So don't worry, we will talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw, but this is much more focused on SmackDown just because we haven't got a chance to talk about it. So that said, what did you think about the holiday-themed trick or street fight? I keep saying trick or treat street fight. It's trick or street fight with Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss against Shinsuke and Rick Boogs.
Rick Boogs, man. Rick Boogs. I mean, I could watch Rick Boogs for a while, man. I enjoy Rick Boogs in every way, shape, or form. And he's grown on me, I mean, he got me with his entrance and all that. But then the minute that man stepped in the ring, woo, boy, I'm all in on Rick Boogs, all in, and I think it's beautiful pairing him with Shinsuke Nakamura. And to be honest with you, when the match was going on, me and my friends really just sat here, and I was like, we were trying to make a bet on who was going to get smashed with the pumpkin. Like that's all I was looking for. That's all I was waiting for. And it didn't really fully happen. I feel bad at the end of the match when I don't remember who it was. They got slammed down for the finishing move. I can't see my notes here right this minute, but I felt bad that the pumpkin didn't smash, because that's what was supposed to happen. Yep. But I talked about this on the AEW thing, and this is one of the few shows of the year where I'll give them a pass. It's Halloween. I know we're gonna get something themed. I know it's going to be a little corny and a little fun, but, I didn't think this was all that bad. And I feel like this match did exactly what it was supposed to do, just to give you something for Halloween. It got them in the ring and had them, gave them TV time. So, ultimately, I really didn't have any problem with it. I mean, the name's horrible to say, but I was okay with it, because I like to watch Rick Boogs.
Well, then you found something that you liked about it. I mean, I'm a big fan of Nakamura. Rick Boogs, I think, is like, I'm still trying to find my way about him. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I'm just kind of like, all right, he helps Nakamura. I'm a little bit less high on him, but I'm not down on him. So that said, though, this match, look, I hate this kind of crap with WWE. Like, everybody know. I mean, that's just me. Of course, my opinion doesn't mean more than anyone else's, but I am not a fan of this kind of silliness that's, I guess, targeted towards a 5-year-old to 10-year-old audience that finds this kind of stuff funny. I mean, I it's to me just a complete exposure of the business. It's silly time. It's like, it's clowns and rainbows, and it's basically like a child's version of wrestling is the way I look at this kind of stuff. Whenever they do like the 4th of July, like they've done food fights not every 4th of July, but a lot of food fights on 4th of July, Memorial Day, same thing. They've done turkey gravy bowls, so look out for Thanksgiving. I mean, that'll be the next thing. This got Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard's fingerprints all over it, thinking that it's funny or entertaining. I don't. I mean, that said, I wasn't sitting there seething. Like, it wasn't the worst thing I've seen in the world with WWE. At least they didn't have like, goblins and ghouls and zombies come out and take it to the nth degree. But they did have bobbing for apples, and they had pumpkins and like all the stuff that you'd expect to see, and it was, to me, just a kind of sigh and eye roll moment. I didn't like it at all. It was it's not for my audience, but I don't really know what audience you're serving here. I have no idea who's sitting there like knee slapping, laughing at this. I don't know, but somebody had to get a pumpkin on the head, and it was Shinsuke. So
the most impressive part of the match, I don't know if you caught it. I mean, because I honestly, as soon as the screen came up and I saw all the pumpkins on the ring, I looked at my homie and I was like, "Oh, Matt's not happy." Like, I knew what he mean. I say that all the time. I love it when they say. That's why, like, when I do my mailbag, I try to replace cuss words with the words that you hate so much. Roll up, holy momentum, things like that. Because I mean, that's not going. I absolutely love it. I think it's absolutely great, because I actually agree. But the greatest spot in that match was impressive. On what's Corbin's buddy's name again? I always forget it.
Madcap Moss.
Okay, when he got his head into the apples, he got one.
He got one. Yes. Yeah.
And he got one quick. I know it was probably gimmicks, but you just put a little rod in there and you put an apple on it so you can grab it. But that was impressive to me. That was a great sell. And to be honest with you, for the whole match, my ultimate review of it was the bobbing for the apple spot. That's it.
Which is what that was actually like a spot that got built up. Like, the crowd was waiting for somebody to get their head dunked in water with apples. Like, everybody wanted to see that, it seemed like. And I mean, he came up with the apple, and I saw that, and I'm like, all right, well, that's not easy to do. So if he did that legit, like, good job out of you. And we don't forget, we also had the 24/7 single file run in that happened in the middle of this match.
No, we didn't. That didn't happen.
Yeah. Reginald, by the way, is like go gadget legs. I mean, I don't know how the hell he does what he does in, it looks like he's wearing business slacks. I don't know how the hell he does it. This guy is insane. And then at the end, don't forget too, we got Garza and Carrillo who ended up involving themselves in this match, screwing over Nakamura and Boogs. So anything on that?
I was all in on that, to be honest. And I actually met Reggie down in Vegas. Real nice guy. He is a picture of his character. I mean, he is just a joy to be around. I was trying to take a picture of us. I accidentally had it on video. He gave me some crap for it, but he's a really, really cool dude. And the only thing that I really don't like about what they're doing for him is you don't see it on TV, but it would be annoying to see live is hearing Pat McAfee and all of them sell him jumping into the ring and doing that big jump out of the ring and then bouncing again, just incredible amount they're putting a springboard right there. Like it's a springboard. I know it's a springboard.
I was going to say, yeah. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
It's just a little. I want to see Reggie wrestle. I've the very few times I've seen him in the ring. I want to see that style. I'd like to see what he can do. And at first I was all. I thought it was really great. For him getting the 24/7 title, which in my opinion, I think that title should be changed. I think it should be changed to a TV title. Television title, where anytime you're on TV, you can defend. You have to defend it. Not in this, anywhere, anytime, any place thing. Just actual match, because then you can have it on either brand. It can move around. But that's what I think they should do with it, because they've, after R-Truth, really dropped out of the picture. That's kind of where I've started dropping out. Because I will always remember the 24/7 title as being him. Being his, just like I think of King of the Ring as being King Booker, but yeah, I'm with you. As soon as it started coming in, Lunchable break, okay, because I was like, yeah, this is, and the last thing I'll say about the 24/7 title that really, really gets under my skin is Cesaro. Cesaro does not deserve to, in any way, shape, or form, to be in that group of wrestlers. At all.
Today, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. And the best part? There's no annual contract. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
Fall is the season of gathering that brings us together with warmth and color. So whether it's a birthday, anniversary, or a special event, celebrate your friends and family with a gorgeous bouquet of roses from 1-800-Flowers.com. 1-800-Flowers makes it easy to brighten someone's day with 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99. To get 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
Look where Cesaro was just a few months ago, main eventing a pay-per-view with Roman Reigns, where people believe, and I was one of them, that there's a small chance he could actually beat Roman Reigns for the championship, to relegating to basically an afterthought in single file line chasing. Yeah, it's a fall from grace. That there's no other way to say it. It's a massive fall, off a cliff. For Cesaro, but that's how he does. I mean, they look at Cesaro as a guy that can do anything. He can be anybody they need him to be. He can be a babyface. He can be a heel. He can wrestle great with anybody. He's just this jack of all trades, and he's not involved in anything currently. So yeah, they're like, hey, yeah, go ahead and be part of that nonsensical single file line, like they're going into school, lining up for I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so. Let's jump into a different topic here on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre has his open challenge, and I gotta say the after the match stuff was more interesting to me than the in match stuff. Which, by the way, Mustafa, I keep saying Mustafa, but they somehow at some point morphed it, and maybe him and Omos are having some kind of meeting of the minds of like, hey, you want to screw with people with our names? Let's let them pronounce it. Let's let them figure it out. And if we apparently did land on Mustafa at one point, it was Mustafa, and I don't know when it changed, but let's go with Mustafa because that's what he said. But the match, I think, was fine. It was good. What do you expect from two professionals? I think it was just fine. And we got at least in my mind, a new finish for Drew, which was the what was it? Well, it was a submission. The Kimura. That's what he used. He used the Kimura to finish this match. We had Ali tap, and then at the end where we had Drew going up the ramp, this is where things got a little bit. It's an interesting choice of words by Ali, given the state of 2021 politics and the state of things. It's a pretty risky thing to say. Well, he didn't outright say what we all know. It was definitely implied, but that was to me more interesting than the match itself. But what'd you take about all this?
Okay, yeah, this is actually the only real notes that I took because I really wanted to touch this subject. So Mustafa is his name. That is how it's pronounced, Mustafa. And there was months back. It was months back. He cut a promo, and I mean I have to go back and find out where it was. But I never forgot it, and I've always said his name correctly since then. But he actually, it felt a little bit based in realism, and we agree that I love it when a little bit of realism is into your character. And he went off on one of the announcers one day on mispronouncing his name. But then you fast forward to what happened, and I thought this was an epic piece. I thought that it is on that borderline controversial. It is a little edgy, but at the same time, I don't have that anywhere else on the show. So hey, I'm with it. But the way he came out, and took that beating, and Mustafa, I've always wanted to see him, in a bigger role because I mean we all know he had a push. He was supposed to be on a big push. An injury happened, and Kofi Mania was the direct result of that. And ever since then, let's not even talk about Retribution. Like that's a whole episode on its own. Yeah. But Mustafa is a absolutely amazing performer in my opinion. I actually put him over Ricochet because Ricochet still needs to learn how to sell a move. But Mustafa, when he said that and he came out and he says, I mean, in so short words, the only reason why you boo him or cheer him and boo me is because my name is Mustafa Ali. And I thought he hit it. I thought that was one of the best promos he's ever done. That was a promo that, whether it's a work or a shoot, it don't matter. It felt real to me. And I really did notice, I kind of noticed it coming a little bit before it happened because Pat McAfee was selling how to pronounce his name correctly over and over and over again throughout that match. And it was very noticeable, and I appreciated it because consistency, if you're going to go down this road, and like I said, I saw this storyline really kind of happen months ago. And to see this, starting to come to fruition, the way I look at it is he is an amazing in-ring performer. And he is, of a certain ethnicity that he's proud of, and whether it's character or real. And I think it's absolutely disrespectful. And I've noticed that, I've gotten irritated on TV when I would, like you're talking about, hearing them pronounce his name differently. Every time someone would say Mustafa, I would literally look at the screen and be like, it's Mustafa. Like, come on, that's his name. And it's pronounced that way. And I feel like that's the respect that he deserves. Because he does incredible work. He does amazing promos, and he's been there just toiling and doing the work for so long. I feel like he does deserve that respect to have his name pronounced correctly. And I know I may be I may be looking too far into it. Yeah. But that's where really what I came down on, especially after that promo in that episode, because I've heard it on a lot of all different podcasts. People don't know how to pronounce his name. Oman, that's a whole different one. Like they've really messed that one up. Nobody knows how to pronounce his name correctly. But in this instance, there is a specific way to say his name, And I choose to 100% use that correct pronunciation out of respect for that professional wrestler that I am getting entertainment from, that is working and putting his body on the line in every single match. I mean, he took a beating. He took a beating from Drew McIntyre. I mean, he sells like no other. I compare him to Sasha Banks on how well they can sell. And, you know, I thought it worked perfectly. He got the full-on beatdown. He cut off the commentators, so it was like almost like it felt unplanned. So it felt like it was, a spontaneous moment. And the way he cut that promo, I believed him. And that, because that's what I love about wrestling. I mean, we all know that, scripted, it's shot and this and all that and the other thing. But that's why we watch wrestling, is because they get us when they get us emotionally invested, when they get us to have a reaction to what they're doing. And that's exactly what he did for me in that moment. I felt for him. And I will always, from that, I've done it for a while, but I will always use his correct pronunciation of his name. And I will always, correct other people, friends of mine when I'm sitting watching. I'm like, and I'll explain to them why. And as soon as I explain, what his name actually is and how it's kind of gotten to here, they're like, oh, okay. And then they watch his match and they're like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm going to put some respect on his name, Mustafa Ali.
Well, there you have it. The score has been settled with what his name is and how it's pronounced, and now it's Mustafa. And I'll just, if you screw it up or you think you're going to screw it up, I just say Ali. Like, Ali is pronounced Ali. There's no other way to pronounce it. But that said, maybe Omos should just do what Mustafa did, and hey, just say your name in some way, shape, or form. Use your name. I don't care if you use it in the third person, so you can clear up all this debate. The announcers, the interviewers, AJ, everybody has said it every different way. So just stop all the madness and have Omos actually say it himself so we can end the debate. But look, Ali is really, I think, talented on the mic. We saw that, and I know we're not going to get into the Retribution group, but while he was their brief leader, I think that there was something there with him on the microphone as their leader. He has shown that he can talk, and he can talk pretty damn well. And I think that this is the start of something for him, clearly, that he is going to be, I hope not taking like a racial road to this, but we've seen this before. This isn't the first time. If you skipped wrestling during the mid 2000s, Muhammad Hassan, who basically ran on the fact that you guys hate me because of the way I dress, of the way I look. If he's going to, and he was an Arab American in storyline anyway, he wasn't in reality, but he looked like an Arab American. And he crapped on the crowd because he said that they didn't like him because of the way he looked and my name and everything. And it seems like they're going that kind of road, although in 16 years removed from 2005, it's a much different political and more hostile environment. So WWE needs to be very careful about bringing in any kind of racial or bias or any stuff that may not belong in wrestling, because that's why we watch wrestling, is to get away from all the stuff that we see in the news and everything and social media. So I'm fine. I'm cool with this. I'm interested to see where it goes, and maybe that's the point. But if his whole shtick is going to be around people having, I guess, unconscious bias against me because of my name, I mean, that's a cool place to start. It's got people talking, which is what you and I are doing right now, but it's a dangerous road to travel if you're going to take this all the way. I'd be very careful if I was WWE in today's environment. It's not the same as it was, 15, 16 years ago when they did this before with an Arab American. I know he's not Arab American, but that's the analogy I'm drawing. So I guess in closing to this, Drew put a hell of a beat down on him. I think that this is a good start for Ali Mustafa to have a launching pad to kind of rebirth his career into a place that people actually talk about him on a weekly basis, because he can go in the ring. He's got a good look and he can talk. I mean, that's what you're looking for. And I think this could be an opportunity for him to finally get a little more spotlight. So did you have any final thoughts before we move on this?
No, yeah, I 100% agree. And, I by the way, that other guy, totally missed that.
Yeah, go check it out.
I missed that, but I also got to miss, I never saw John Morrison.
Oh, you never did? That's hilarious.
I never saw John Morrison. I never saw him. I didn't miss anything because it's the same damn thing right now.
It's a rerun. Yeah, it's a rerun. You're seeing the same thing. Yep.
But I don't like ethnic characters. Because it is, first of all, what you said, it's a slippery slope. Like, let's take Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal, can I get a character from him now? Like, it's been so long. Can I get an actual character from him instead of an ethnic character, and then, Apollo Crews. I mean, that was a little different. He changed into it, but then that seemed to be all it became. I mean, ever since the Nation of Domination, I feel like they've always tried to get back to that. And that's why, like, in the draft, I was a huge fan of, what's his name? Who are the two guys? Not Shanky or Banky or whatever his name is. The other guy, Veer. I was really, really hoping during the draft that he would get split up because I didn't want to see him stuck in this ethnic stereotyped character, because that man, that's a future champion, in my opinion. Veer is just mind blowing to me what he's able to do in the ring and how believable it is. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of ethnic characters that are just based specifically on that, and especially in today's day and age. Because I mean, come on, like, if I really want that and I really want to look at that, I can go watch the news. I can go to Facebook. Okay, I don't need it, and I feel like it's a lazy creative. I feel like it's really lazy. Oh, you look like you're this from this area, this ethnicity, so let's go ahead and center your whole character around it. No. I mean, Jinder Mahal, if he would just do a real character, the only real character I think we saw from him was in 3MB, but he went right back to this, with the turban, just everything's ethnic, and I don't need it, because it's lazy to me. This is a different world. And, any break that we can have from our world, I'm taking it.
Yeah, that's it. That's why we watch TV. That's why we watch movies. That's why we watch any form of entertainment, sports in general, and sports entertainment. That is why we watch it. And when they start to bring in things that are political or a hot topic socially or culturally, I think that while there can be instances where it's useful to at least maybe just start something, you can't continue to use it, because it does kind of negate the fact of, or really, I guess, go against the fact. It's in contrast to why people watch your product to begin with, to escape from reality and just dive into the sandbox and play around in a place that doesn't really matter. And that's what wrestling is, and that's why we love it. But it's a place that's not real, but it's fun to be in. So, all right, let's get into Game of Thrones, which is basically what Xavier Woods did here, which was rip off essentially every phrase nearly from Game of Thrones. I don't know if you've watched it, but he took the king's hand, hand of the king. He took bend the knee. There was a couple other phrases that he took from Game of Thrones. I mean, that was straight from that playbook, and it's fine. I mean, it worked. Nobody has ever really used it in that context before, but it was very Game of Thrones-ish. And maybe that was the point. Very, 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 very popular show, so maybe that was the point of it as well. But again, this segment with him knighting Kofi Kingston. Look, you know what I'm going to say about this stuff. It's I am not a fan of course, you wanted to talk about Hit Row, the little bit of a interaction that they had backstage, and they're saying we are not worthy and bowing to him and things like that. But I'll let you take the details of this one first. What did you think about this whole segment?
Well, let's just start with Xavier Woods, and let's give him his positives. Mm-hmm. His look, like his facial expression, money. Like, he has the stare and the gaze and the look of a king. He must have been practicing this for so long, because, man, it's undeniable. The look on his face and the way he's presenting, hey, if that's what you're looking for, he's nailing that. But that's really where the positives stop, because I was a big, I talked about on the mailbag. If this is a way to, I want to see the crown go to his head. I want to see it go to his head to an extent that it turns him into almost a Mad Hatter type crazy character, and then ultimately turns him heel and gets him out on his own. as a singles competitor. If that's what's happening, I'm all the way in. But I feel like the WWE does this a lot. They have a good. I mean, the meat is right there. The ingredients are right there. This is a stew. Throw the ingredients into a pot, turn the heat up, and just let it cook. And that's not what they're doing. Like, I mean, you go back to his first appearance after winning it, he was going to have a decree, or he was, I don't know what he said. He was going to list his principles or this or that or the other thing, and then he didn't do nothing. I was like, what did someone forget a page on the script? Like, what's going on here? And then this last week, I get it. I'm cool with, the knighting of Kofi Kingston, because we're putting the ingredients in the pot. Okay, I'm with it. I'll even give him a pass on the Game of Thrones references, because that's something that people know about, and it's just a way of connecting, and connecting the fan to the product that they're doing here, So okay, all right, but come on, give me something now. It's been 2 weeks, even as we get into the match, I don't know where they're going with it, because they have gold in the speaker that is Xavier Woods. Now give him something to chew on. Well, who's his adversary? Who's, if you're a king, then, you have to have an adversary, right? Or if you're a mean king, you end up having your subjects, uprising against you. What is it? Take the whole 24/7 troop and have them be your kingdom. Okay. If this is going to be that lazy and that childish and not thought through, well then, hey, let's just put all of the nonsense into a pile, and we'll put it on a YouTube show or a kickoff show. Okay. Or put it on the part of SmackDown that gets edited out on the Hulu version, because I don't see anything happening yet. And the longer that they stall out to get to that point, or whatever point they may want to get to, people are already checking out. Like, it's the same thing with Big E. We're not going to fully dive into, my opinions on Big E so far, but like, I was such a big fan of him winning. Yes. Awesome. I was there for the pop. Yes. Okay. And ever since then, it's been lazy, and there hasn't been anything cooking. And so now, like, I'm literally one of those people that, as happy I am for, Big E, as happy as I am for Xavier Woods. And it's just coincidence that they're part of the New Day. I mean, I'm literally talking about them as two different people. But now I'm getting bored, and I'm starting to check out, because, WWE there's one thing that they are consistent about, and that's inconsistency and slow storylines that they just end up dropping out of nowhere. And that's where I feel is going to end up happening with this if they don't do something soon, and that's where I'm at on that. Kofi or Xavier Woods, he has such a chance to do something amazing with this. I felt like he was the only one in that tournament that could win this, and even as a babyface, that could win this and do something with it, because that's what I feel that the King of the Ring it should be used for, is a platform and a starting point to reinvent your character, or to get you to the next level. If they're just going to go out there and do the pretending to be, I loved how the Usos said, "What, you out here playing dress up?" Oh, and funny on that, when the Usos did ask if they were playing dress up, and they looked back and they were like, "Hey, you've been wearing the same clothes since like 2005." It was really funny to see Jimmy. I don't remember which one was, Jimmy or Jay. He's like looking at his shirts like right away. He's like, "New merch, dog. New merch, dog."
Yep. That's I love that.
I laughed so hard with that. Like, there was some fun. I mean, those two. That's I think that's another reason why I started checking out, is because you and I both agree the Usos and the New Day, they can put on a 5-star match any day of the week. I've seen it 50 million times. It's not that it's not going to be good. It's not that it's not going to be something entertaining, but there's no reason for them to be back together or back around each other, because we just had the draft. We just had the draft. New matchups, right? New people, right? New storylines, new situations. I mean, that's what's happening, right? Like, am I wrong?
Yeah, well, that's the idea. The problem is they throughout the entire draft last year, they made so many excuses of why certain people are there and why it's only tonight. Oh, quarterly invitational. Oh, wild card rule. Oh, well, it's the Rumble. Oh, well, it's WrestleMania. Oh, it's Survivor Series. Oh, this is the one time a year. Oh, wait, we're not just going to explain how they're here. I mean, there's a zillion examples of them not sticking to their own rules, which is coming to bite them in the backside now, because you're looking at this going, wait, we've seen this 100 times. You know, we've seen this just a few months ago. You know, so it's like this is the repercussions and the consequences of when they make those decisions. It doesn't feel special when they bring teams together anymore, or singles competitors, because we've seen it a million times. Most matchups, not all, but we've seen a lot of different matchups that we would have been otherwise more excited if they just kept them apart. But that said, I think that the Xavier Woods thing is it's as babyface as it can be for a King. Like you started off saying that if this is going to ultimately end in a heel turn for Xavier, sign me up. If it's just going to be silly crap for the next 6 months and he's supposed to be the next Booker T successful career defining character change into a King, no, I'm not on board for that. But if this is a heel turn, hell yeah. But I have my doubts that it's actually a heel turn, given WWE's track record with the New Day, saying, you know, to myself, oh, that they've got to break them up. They've got to break them up. Then they just continue not to. The other problem is, which I've said a million times, is as much as we complain to creative and Vince about, my God, this has run its course, the fans continue to support it on a weekly basis with their voices and continuing to cheer it. So the people listening to this show that are cheering for this stuff, you guys are the problem, right? Like nothing like calling out your own audience. But no, I mean, really, that is really the other problem, is that the fans continue weekly, every single time they hear that New Day music. It's just like this instant knee-jerk reaction to cheer, and it's like, no, please, can we get away from that? So if WWE continues to hear that level of support, I would say to myself, why are we going to fix something that's not broke? For what, podcasters like myself, right? For the fringe fan that doesn't like this stuff, I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. I think it's just elementary garbage. But like you said, there is more to Xavier than what we're seeing beyond the silliness of acting like 5-year-olds and getting paid millions of dollars to do it over the last 7 years. There is more to it, more to Xavier that we've seen before in the recent past with him and Hell in a Cell and Bobby Lashley. He's come close to contending for the WWE Championship. He's had really good matches. And it's nothing to do with him in the ring. It's all character-based, 100% character-based. I've got nothing against him otherwise. And so anyway, this match with the New Day and Usos, bringing it back full circle here, was exactly what you'd expect. I think it was only 9 minutes in this match, and it was fine. I mean, it was exactly what you thought you'd get, just a solid matchup with these two. And what did you think about the main event?
It was formula. Like when we say that this is the same thing we've seen so many times, we're not just saying the characters and the wrestlers in the ring. I was watching that match and I was calling it before things happened, because they